In today's video, I want to make a case for getting on top of your exterior life as a creative. This will have a huge benefit if you are a working artist or you have a big project in mind that you are trying to make more time for and give more energy to. When we think of artists or creative people, the first characteristics that come to mind probably aren't proactive, laser focused. These are attributes that we would associate maybe more with rigid professions, things where people have to analyze and follow procedures. For the most part, we tend to view creatives as these loose, structureless people who spend a lot of time thinking and maybe not as much time doing. Let's talk about your physical space. So looking around you, what do you see? Is there stuff everywhere? Do things have a specific place? Your fridge, for example, do you know what's in there, or is it just complete chaos? You have no idea what you need from the grocery store or what you're going to have for dinner tonight. All these mundane, everyday aspects of life will eat away at you if you let them. The problem here is the more energy those things take, the less energy you have for the great ideas that come to you or the creative things you want to do. The more we can get on top of our physical space that surrounds us every day, the less bogged down we will feel by things and life. The feeling of making a physical space look and feel clean, tidy, organized will have an amazing effect on your mind, and then it'll just free up so much room in your head for the things that you really want to be doing. So an action step here is to tackle things in chunks. Sometimes we try and set a whole day aside to get on top of these things that have just accumulated physically or mentally, digitally. But the best thing to do is just to tackle one thing each day. So it could be your kitchen bench. You might decide to just clean out your car. You might go to your studio where you create your art and decide to just organize everything so that when you come in there, it's really easy for you to get started. If you're like me and you create a lot of video content, you might decide to make sure every single thing has its place and it goes away after each session. It can be easily pulled out so that you can get to creating quicker. There's less of a barrier. Being organized has such an amazing positive flow-on effect. I will leave some links below to videos that I think are really helpful and dive a little bit deeper into these topics that I have been watching that have just motivated me to really get on top of my physical space this year. In my life, a lot of brilliant creatives that I have known have been quite sensitive people. They are people that have a lot of empathy, or they just absorb the world's problems. All of these things can lead to anxiety and other negative feelings that can then snowball and turn into you just becoming somebody that you didn't really want to be. And this can affect your creativity. This can lead to things like procrastination and imposter syndrome, perfectionism, all of these things that we hear artists talk about and cite as a problem so often. A lot of these things can be cured by lifestyle choices. So the antidote to anxiety and to these negative feelings is movement. We hear this as advice all the time, and it's really easy to be like, yeah, whatever. I know I definitely did this for many years of my life, but since implementing movement, I can really see the benefits. If you think about it, we were made to move. We weren't made to be sitting at a desk all day long, being overloaded with information and then feeling anxious. Movement gives you energy. It literally makes your blood flow, provides more oxygen to your brain, which improves your cognitive function. And these things are like all the things you want when you are going to sit down and be creative or be artistic or work in a team to bring something to life. Exercise is just the most amazing thing. If there was a pill that you could take that had the same benefits, you would 100% be buying it. Exercise is free. You can go out and do it right now. So start thinking about how you can implement that in your everyday. I just try and get some kind of movement in every day, and then I have a journal. I write down what I have done that day movement-wise, and the habit has just compounded. And on days when I don't move, because obviously that's going to happen, that's just life, I can really tell the difference. There was a study done recently. I am not the most like sciencey, statisticky person ever, but I read it and it was on a group of children in a classroom. There was 2 different classrooms and one of them did no physical exercise or had breaks or anything. They just did like the usual kind of classroom, back to back, sitting at a desk trying to pay attention. And then the other classroom of children had regular exercise breaks or brain breaks. And they found that this second group that had these movement breaks were just performing so much better, which is unsurprising. It's like, we know this. We know that this is what we should be doing, but sometimes you just need a YouTuber or a podcaster to tell you. Think about what you're doing all day. Like seriously, what are you doing? What habits make up your day-to-day life? I looked at my screen time recently and I'm not going to tell you because I am genuinely ashamed, but I thought, wow, if I took half that time to do something creative or read a book or just basically do anything else, I would be so much further along. And sometimes we really need to be jarred and confronted with our habits in that way. So maybe go have a look at your screen time. The habits that you have are the backbone of your creative process. And if you can't show up for yourself in your daily life, how do you expect to show up effectively in your creative work? So look at your days and start to reduce the things that aren't really serving you. They're making you feel negative. They're stealing your energy and your focus. And be honest with yourself here. Doing this all at once is a really, really bad idea. So again, like I said, with the physical space, the first tip, just chunk this out. And every day or every week, you can look at reducing something. A little tip here is if you're like me, reducing something just makes it seem really exciting and like I want to do it because I've told myself that I can't anymore. So instead of saying, I'm not having any phone time or I'm not doing this or this, I instead focus on the habit that I want to do. So I really want to be reading more. So I have said that I want to make more time for reading. So in the evenings, I'm reading instead of being on my phone. And when I go to pick up my phone, I pick up a book instead where I can. This is focusing on the positive instead of the negative. So figuring out how you work in your mind and doing a little bit of self-reflection will really help here. That is something you can also take into your creative practice too, knowing what makes you tick, what makes you motivated, what keeps you going. You can use that to finish up a creative project or motivate yourself to do a part of the creative process that you really don't enjoy. The fourth thing I want to talk about is finding a community. You can't do things alone. Trust me. You need a community around you to guide you, inspire you, help you, hold you accountable. Finding that community, whether online or in real life, can be the difference between a successful artist or an unhappy failed artist. So taking a second to think about, what do the people around you say about you? You know how there's that old saying, you're as good as the 5 people you hang out with. So what do your friends at the moment say about you? Are they ones from a long time ago that you're holding on to and you've kind of grown apart? Do you share the same values? Surrounding yourself with other people who value and believe in art and creativity and the power of it will be so beneficial to you because it will make you feel more motivated to do it. And you'll be able to have conversations with people about what you're doing, what they're doing, and you can all feed off each other. It's also very beneficial to regularly see people, whether it's online or it's in real life, probably preferably, seeing people doing the thing that you want to do. It keeps it within grasp and like in insight. So seeing that is like proof that you can also do it. And if you're someone who struggles with comparison, try and reframe your mind to think of it like this. I see people, they're a lot further along than me. If they can do it, why can't I do it? How can I take steps to get where they are now? And seeing them makes me feel motivated because seeing it, it's like if you see it, you can believe it. So try and find your creative community. And I promise you will be so thankful to have them, especially when you have down moments or you can feel what it's like to lift someone else up in the process. I see so many people online and in my daily life who give so much precious energy and time to things that they can't control, and it ultimately leads to suffering. I'm going to put it really bluntly. Our world today is brutal, and if you constantly engage in that, you will become depressed. Yes, you might create something really great once or twice out of anger and, vitriol or whatever kind of negative emotion you feel. But is that sustainable? And is that how you want to continue as an artist? Negative thoughts really just drag you down. They don't offer you anything. And entering into these back and forths online that just add fuel to the fire, and they don't really add to progression. They don't solve any problems, and you can't really control them. They don't even really exist. They're in this thing that you can't really see. It's not like you're actually having a conversation with someone. These kind of actions don't serve you well as a creative, and you're wasting precious time and energy on those things. And then when you do get time for your creative pursuit, your creative act, your art, whatever it is, you're going to feel really shitty, and you're going to bring that shittiness to it. If you are someone who feels very tuned into what's going on in the world, you're politically inclined, and you feel like you need to be informed, and that's sort of your excuse for entering into all of this, try and keep it to a minimum and really check yourself. And then think about how you can channel that energy into your creative pursuits rather than just obsessing, watching endless news cycles, doom scrolling, having arguments with people online. How can you put that into your creativity? How can you make a difference? How can you, resonate with other people and make them feel good or seen or heard? How can you help? How can you improve society? That's what art is there for. How can you open up a productive conversation around the thing? How can you put it into your art and see how weirdly it comes out and is translated? That's the beauty of art. You can have an idea of what you want it to be or come across as, and then it morphs into something else when it gets to the other end and people view it. So try and channel all of that energy into your art and your creativity rather than just on these futile online arguments that just get you caught up. They get you nowhere. Resist the temptation to be informed by every single ill that is going on in the world, because that is not how we are supposed to live our lives. My piece of advice here, and the biggest takeaway for this tip, would be to be a good person. Be a good person in your life, to your friends, to your family, to passers-by, and see how that positivity will come back to you, and focus on just your surroundings and how you can make where you live and who you interact with better. And you'll find that will just have this really, really positive flow-on effect, and you'll feel more inspired, you'll feel more energized, and you'll bring that work into your writing, into your painting, into your sculpting, whatever it is. And then you'll be able to offer more to other people as well, and that will spread. And if everyone did that without sounding all like kumbaya, the world would probably be a lot nicer place. Another great way that you could implement these things that I'm talking about is by journaling or writing them down, and then tracking your habits or just reflecting on things at the end of the day, and then looking over it as a whole, figuring out your gaps, your challenges, what you want to change, improve on, all that stuff. I have recently been enjoying the Daily Stoic channel and the book, and then the journal that comes with it. So I'll link them below. But really, if you have a notepad, you can just write in a notepad, and that's fine. You don't need to buy more things, but they're linked below if you want to check them out. Thank you so much for watching and listening, guys, and I will see you in the next one.